Hey, what is going on everybody, and welcome to Fantasia. For today, we're going to be jumping into another session of Epic 7. Now today, got some more Guild War for you guys. And of course, before we begin, the joke of the day from Icarus. Penny forgot the code to her luggage, so I managed to figure it out. You could say I solved the case. Oh man. It's taking lockpicking to another level. Lockpicking lawyer will be very, very pleased. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into our first match over here. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting one, the top team. The Spectre Tenebra is a sole DPS with a Lua that has a non-attack skill, means that we're just going to be taking in our Celine for free. And of course, you know we're using that summer skin because it is absolutely beautiful. This is my Celine. These are her stats. A lot of you guys have been asking about my tank Celine stats. So there you go. 17k health, almost 1200 defense. Her attack could be higher with some more imprints, but currently don't have any more than this. And pretty good crit damage too. She's on her own artifact that allows her to CR push and gives her an attack buff, which actually makes up for that lower attack stat. She's on destruction set to maximize her stat line. And yeah, she's actually pretty decent in terms of damage while having the survivability to make her really annoying, and an RTA prevents opponents from popping their non-attack skills. So speaking of non-attack skills here, we're going to benefit quite a bit from Lua's debuffs because Ed over here is going to be taking all the direct hits from her S2 and her S1, so those defense breaks and sleep don't really matter. We can use that against our opponent and counter them. Speaking of countering them, I'm using a Tywin because he is a light unit. He's actually pretty good light bait in this case because FCC has debuffs on her S1, and so does Spectre Tenebria. If they attack a Tywin, he's going to cleanse a debuff off of the entire team, and if he does so, then what he gets is the rage buff, so he enrages. If he enrages, all of his skills, his S3 and his S1, ignores resistance, which makes it so that he can essentially just destroy everything that doesn't have immunity, which this top team doesn't. So we're going to see how he does in this case. He's typically not used very often on Guild War offense, but I thought this would be a pretty good scenario. For the bottom team, we got C. Lilius, A. Ravi, and Landy. So very RNG based team in terms of C. Lilius dual attacking. Whichever unit she dual attacks with, right, you're going to hope that it's APOC Ravi and not the Landy. But in this case, we're going to minimize the RNG that's on our side. We're going to bring the C. Lilius, which is going to help us kind of give the Vigor buff to our Kawazu, which is very important. He needs Vigor to ignore resistance and apply his burns, so we're going to be praying that that happens. Now, it doesn't matter if our opponent has a faster C. Lilius or a slower one, because Zahak will be able to cleanse the Kawazu, because C. Lilius will always be provoking the Kawazu, which means that Zahak is safe to use his S2. In fact, I'm going to switch Kawazu's artifact really quickly here. Last minute change, because I just realized I could potentially speed RNG myself and screw everything up. So I'm going to switch him over to Indestructible Gators. On Spear of Purification, he has CR pushing whenever an opponent uses a non-attack skill, and I don't want that CR push to actually make him go faster than Zahak. If he does so, we can't get cleansed and can't get the attack buff. But yeah, you see here, Ed gets the little cleanse, we get to push up. Spectre Tenebria has immunity at the start of the match, but that's okay. Ed managed to strip the speed buff, and look at that, Celine, ooh, is she able to finish off? See, look at that. Even with tank Celine stats, right, you can actually manage to do quite a bit of damage. So let's just go with the S3. Let's go into the Lua since she's the most annoying unit here. Good job, A. Taiwan, you really didn't do much. But he's not really a Guild War unit. He could be a decent, like, light bait unit, I guess. No provoke there, unfortunately. She's gonna go into the Ed. FCC has a 100% chance to provoke, so it's actually pretty good for a unit like Ed. You can actually potentially solo stuff like FCC in RTA if you have a fighter, because she can't help but debuff you. Alright, let's go ahead and see A. Taiwan's animation, though. I don't think he can stun, because my A. Taiwan doesn't have any effectiveness. Oh, actually, but we do get a defense break here. That's actually pretty nice. Look at that. Good job, A. Taiwan. Hopefully he'll get a better showing in the next batch. We didn't really need him here. Yeah, Celine kind of just deleted the Spectre. If Spectre lived, I was kind of expecting her to live. But if Spectre lived there, we would have been okay. And A-Town might have been able to do a bit more. Alright, but over here, our Sea Lilius outspeeds our opponents, so it doesn't really matter. All you gotta do is provoke her and push her back. If you get 15%, then I guess you die. Let's go ahead and attack buff the Kawazu. Now we have an attack buff, and Vigor buff Zahak. I'm gonna go into the A-Ravi. Now, it's okay if we don't crit. Yeah, so we don't crit over here. We still get to do a massive amount of injury damage. Look at that injury damage, right? That's exactly what we want over here. And our Kawazu can go ahead and delete the Landy. Our Kawazu is very tanky, so it's okay. If Sea Lilius duels attacks, oh my god, 27k burn damage. Yeah, so look at that. Even if she dual attacks here with the A-Ravi, we should be perfectly fine. She's a 15k HP A-Ravi, so look at that. Almost no damage now onto my Sea Lilius. We are looking pretty good. I'll try to DPS down the Lilius first, just because I don't want her to keep dual attacking. Every Lilius turn essentially turns into an A-Ravi turn, which is why she's so good on Guild War defense. Oh man, look at those burns. Beautiful. Let's get Zahak dual attack. Nope. We do get stack more burns with the Kawazu. Alright, this should be able to finish her off here. Burn? Yeah, and there you go. There you have it. Pretty quick and easy there. Landy teams don't really do all too much on Guild War defense because there's so many answers to her, and they're quite reliable when you're against the AI. So moving on into our second match over here, I believe we're going to go into this tower. Yeah, this looks like a pretty interesting team to go up against. The first one especially, we got Ocean Breeze Luluka, Senya, and a Spirit Eye Celine. Now what I want to test out here is the A-Tai went into this Ocean Breeze Luluka and the Senya, because you can actually cleanse one of the buffs off of them. And getting the enraged buff is pretty good, because you can stun the Senya, prevent her from using her counterattacks, and you can also stun the Spirit Eye Celine, preventing her from, well, counterattacking, right? Because that's the whole gimmick of that first team right there. What I'm gonna do as well is get this Bihu into the mix. Bihu can actually proc this Luluka very early on, and I also have Roy here as another fire unit. So when Luluka procs and when Senya attacks, there's a 50-50 chance that they will miss on my fire units, and if they do, that's fantastic. If on the off chance they actually hit me, I at least get to cleanse one of the debuffs off of them, and we get the rage buff on Tywin so that we can go do some shenanigans. But let's give that a shot. The bottom team, we're gonna go for Zeo, Arwell and the Bellion. So we're going to bring in our own Arwell over here for damage mitigation. Now, she is really just here to make sure that Rylet survives. She's so good at damage mitigation that Rylet, even if he gets hit here, should be okay and able to live. Speaking of which, speaking of just wanting to live, we have Elena on Magaraha's Tome. She's able to cut here with an AoE attack on the other side, and we have a good amount of resist, so even if we do get hit by the Zeo, because she is pretty fast, I don't think we're going to get pushed back. And then we can also use our S3 to put up invincibility, and we'll see how it goes. The Belly will be able to proc our S2 passive. But yeah, I'm really excited for that first game here with the A-Tai win, because I want to see him in action, right? That first match we had overall wasn't really action-packed. Also, this Spirit Eye Celine is really, really fast, so I'm a little concerned, but that's okay. Luluka's gonna go ahead and give everyone defense buff and ice cream buff. Gonna go ahead and S3, or sorry, yeah, well S3 and then he's gonna proc her S2. So Tywin gets, he has the enraged buff, but he's blinded, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and try to provoke the Senya. Ooh, we did hit, very nice. So what's gonna happen here is if the Senya attacks me, I will be able to cleanse the blind off of the Tywin, and we'll be able to do some shenanigans there. I think what I want to do is hit this Luluka. Let's just proc the ice cream buff there. There we go, so we get provoked instead, but that's okay. We'll go for... Do I want to hit the Spirit Eye Celine here? Yeah, I guess so. Let's hit the Spirit Eye Celine and hope she doesn't counter. There we go, very nice. Detonation of the bombs is super good. Alright, we're still provoked on the Tywin, but hey, at least we can re-provoke that Senya on the other side. Roy has one more turn until he gets an S3, so that's going to be massive amounts of damage. I'm going to see if Bihu can actually finish off the Spirit Eye. There we go. See, now we have a Rage buff, so A Tywin's actually pretty good at cycling off this Senya here. Oh, look at those burns. Absolutely disgusting. There you go. Tywin essentially just playing by himself over here, just cleansing. Just cleansing himself of debuffs. The other units aren't really getting debuffed at all. But yeah, let's go ahead and soul burn this. Let's rip it S3. Get to ignore the resist. And hopefully defense break and stun. There we go. Look at that. Still defense broken. She's going to resist that, unfortunately. Come on, S1. There we go. Nice provoke. And can we get a detonation here? There we go. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. And there you have it. A Tywin. Do a little bit of control there at the very end. This is so bad. He's not a Guild War offensive unit for sure. Although I would like to test him into something like a Zeo, because if he gets hit, he'll get to cleanse the silence off himself and then get the rage buff if he's the fastest unit on the team. Do I want to go for an S3 here? That's the question. I think I will not. Yeah, let's just go for an S1. Nice little dual attack from the Rylet. I'll take it. Alright, Elena should be able to proc here. There we go. Get some healing in for sure. And did that hit? Good, it did not hit. We're saving the S3 so we can actually cleanse if we do get stunned here. We actually don't, so I do appreciate it. Let's go ahead and stun the Bellion. If I wanted to stop more damage, I would stun the Zeo. Bellion actually does help the Rylet gain extra stacks. I just don't want her to have that immunity buff there. So let's go ahead and S3. Let's go into the Bellion. Alright, and we are going to... Ooh, 14k health through an escort buff. That's pretty good. Alright, Arwell's gonna be soaking up this damage. That's fine. The reason I brought her is she's a light bait. Also, Riley just got hit and got his evasion stripped. So that is fantastic. Let us not have that happen again. He resists my blind. Okay. Come on now, Riley. You got this. Oh, there we go. Jumping into the Arwell, actually probably one of the better options to jump into here for damage. If we can take her out, beautiful. If we can take her out, then the other units are pretty much unprotected. No mitigation and shenanigans. So we should have this. Let me go ahead and cleanse the Arwell. There we go, so we have access to our S1 here on Will, and we're not actually going to strip the attack buff there. That's okay. He would have reapplied it anyway. Let's go ahead and finish off the Zeo. And now it's only Bellion left, so yeah, Ryla's pretty good into these AoE units, especially if you can get a blind on something like Bellion, so, you know, crits like that don't happen. But it's okay, with the enough mitigation support on your team, you too can have a worthless Rylet on your side and have him be victorious. Alright, let's see. Let's go ahead and finish him off here. Seems like people are summoning for Acades in my guild. I think that's why the chat is going wild. I haven't been paying attention there. But what I have been paying attention to is the fight, and we just won here. So absolutely beautiful. And now we get to go ahead and attack the stronghold. So last but not least, we got our stronghold over here, going up against, well, and 3, the third tower that we're fighting today. Seems like their teams are pretty straightforward. The first one's actually a pretty slower bruiser type team. We got Diane, Shu, and Alencia. Shouldn't be too hard for us to do some control shenanigans and fun with. So Deathdeal Array coming out here. He's not fully enhanced yet with his gear. That's a horrible piece of gear, but it's the best I have. Don't mock me for it. Pretend you didn't see that. DDR here, you're going to be putting the Venom on everybody with his Pestilence buff. Speaking of Venom, we also have Sharoon double stacking that Venom for us. Got a little bit of Wondrous Potion Vial going on, which could potentially help against that defense break from this Alencia. Otherwise, we will be perfectly fine with Celestine on DDR, and Solitaria will be able to stealth. Now, there is a couple of AoEs on the other side with their S3s on the Alencian Shu, but with Abyssal Crown and shenanigans, hopefully we can just kind of keep the opponents at bay and stun them and control them all the way through. We got Ron, Cecilia, and Arby on the second team. Now, I'm going to bring in a Tywin with Ed. The reason why is because Ron has 2 debuffs on his S3. He has Defense Break and Stigma. And the problem with Ed is that Ed will always cleanse the Stigma buff first. So he's always going to be left with the Defense Break. Now, if Ron lands 2 debuffs, Ed will cleanse one, and a Tywin cleanses the other, which means that Ed is going to be perfectly free of debuffs, and it makes it so that he's not very vulnerable to follow-up RBS3 or even potentially Cecilia damage, and that makes him really, really strong in this fight. So we're actually going to see some pretty good A-Tywin utility here. Thankfully, there is a tower that allows us to do this. Let's go ahead and see what happens. Of course, Ed's gonna like 15% everything though, and screw a Tywin over. But hey, you know, that's that's the nature of the game. That's just how it works. Okay, Solitary goes first. Let's stun the Shu because I don't want her to give herself immunity. Now I know the DN is gonna lap probably and potentially cleanse her, but I'm okay with that. Let's go ahead and reduce the duration of all the buffs by 2 turns. So get rid of the anti-crit and the attack buff, mostly. So you see there, they still have 1 turn left each, but that's fine. Let's push up the whole team. Alencia gets to S3. And she might be able to... oh, wait, no. I don't know if she can strip. Yeah, there we go, because my Solitary is actually on some resist as well. Let's go ahead and reset the Shu. Beautiful. Because even if the DN cleanses over here, that's fine. They get a nice barrier. But here's the main issue. I can stack a bunch of Venom, and I can strip buffs with Solitaria. So there we go. This Shu is gonna be in quite a pickle here. Do we even bother sleeping her? Let's sleep the Alencia instead, because she's about to go. Detonate that Venom. Right. And he's gonna hit DDR. Ooh, no. Ooh, he gets a Foosh! That's really bad here. Please stop. Okay, good. She didn't crit, so no crit means no follow-up Foosh. Let's go ahead and keep resetting her so she can S3. And because we did that, we can safely hit the other units without... wait a minute. Oh wait, no, hang on. I'm thinking about it the other way around. Yeah, by actually resetting her, it makes it so that she can counter, and it's a bit of a problem. But let's go ahead and sleep the Alencia again. There we go, so that when DN attacks, we'll be okay. Still no counters or anything from our DDR. I think he's a little broken. So let's go ahead and stop this DN from using her turn rotation. So let's go in S3 and try to stun her. Okay, just full-on resist, that's perfectly fine. Let's go for Sharoon's S3. So we can land more Venoms here, okay. Shu finally gets to go for S3, but she has so much injury damage that DDR will be able to detonate right after this DN goes. And can I actually reset this DN? I think so. Let's go ahead and S1. There we go, nice. 1 turn decrease. Beautiful. And DDR can go for an S3 here. Let's go ahead and see how much damage we do. I think we can detonate the Shu for sure. Oh, very, very nice. Look at that. And we can just finish off the Alencia. No reason to S2 there. Beautiful. I love playing with these kind of control teams. They're so much fun. If you have DDR and you have some spare gear, he doesn't need to be on counter set. You can build him on speed set too. I highly recommend pair him up with Solitaria or just some other unit that can attack twice in a turn. Something like Bellion, perhaps. Really, really fun. Even Dizzy, right? Dizzy with DDR is absolutely disgusting, by the way. If you ever wanted to make the other opponent, your opponent, like hate the game and want to quit, just go ahead and give that a go. Right, I think we should have this now because we have all these Venom stacks. There we go, and might as well just S1 here. No reason to go for an S3. And if we can stack another, nope, she resisted. I think she's pretty much done anyway. Yep, there we go. Beautiful. 4 Venom detonations. Easy peasy. Alright, let's go into this match over here. Let's see if we can actually land, if this Ron can land his debuffs. So, ideally, Ed will not have any debuffs on him after this turn. There we go, look at that. So, no more debuffs on him. I actually didn't see what landed and what didn't, but that's okay. Elena hopefully cuts here. If not, Cecilia is blinded. Okay, there we go, very nice. So, I'm going to cleanse the bomb off everybody and put the invincibility on. I know, Tywin does have the defense break, but because he's invincible, we're pretty much fine here. Alright, Cecilia's gonna S3, gets the attack down, but that's perfectly fine. I am gonna go for an S1 here onto the RB. Let's just finish him off. If he comes back in S3s, he could potentially blind us here. If he blinds the Ed, we should be able to S2 and then cut. Or we can just 15%, that's also perfectly fine. Now look at this, we have the enrage buff, right? So when I go for the S3, there's a 100% chance to, or sorry, 80% chance to stun and defense break. So let's go ahead and rip this. Hopefully we land the stun or the defense break here. There we go, very nice stun on the Cecilia, she loses that turn. RB is a little too slow to really do anything, so we could just finish him off with the Ed. Gonna S3 here so we can turn cycle with a 50% combat readiness. Pull up in front of that RB and we can finish off the Cecilia, who's also defense broken. Okay, let's go for the S1 here. Oh, actually, oh my god, Tywin. Finishing off that Cecilia, and there you go. So yeah, is Tywin good in Guild Wars? Not really. Could you potentially use him? Yeah. And plus he's kind of hot, so that's also a bonus. Alright, so Ron's gonna go ahead and finish himself off here. Again, let's see if we can land both the debuffs on Ed. Pay attention here. I believe he did, right? I think we cleansed one and then Tywin cleansed the other. I don't think I saw resist anywhere in there. So let's finish things off with Ed, and there you guys have it. Tywin doing not very much, but you know what? Next time in RTA, hopefully we can test him out in at least one match. That'd be beautiful. Alright, but with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe for more Epic 7 content. And until next time, take care.